your time there, like what were some of the, lack of a better term, culture shocks that you ran into, especially when it came to digital marketing?
Yeah, and that's a great question, and I think the best way to think about it is probably, yeah, taking a look on at how people really interact with technology and with their digital touch points, I guess, with different brands. Um, so whereas a lot of things where when we think about analytics in the U.S., it's very much web based. In Southeast Asia, it's very much app based. Um, it's I know we've all heard the term mobile first, but I think it's really taken to a whole nother level there. In many cases, big brands, even institutional things like banks, like sometimes their website will be very limited or almost non-functional, sometimes not even existing, and all the touch points are through apps for the most point. A lot of brands won't even have their own website. So things are very mobile first. And when we think of mobile first, I think the other big difference breaking that down is in the US, it's mainly iOS, but that's the opposite is actually true in in Southeast Asia. A lot of times, I'm not up to date on the latest statistics, but it's more like 70 to 80% Android and 20 to 30% iOS. So that said, there's a lot more complexity around even understanding the nuances of app tracking, app analytics as well, because you're dealing with a lot larger swath of devices. So being mobile first, obviously one of the big applications is social, as it is here. Social is huge. I think Thailand is ranked among, and a lot of countries in that region among the highest social media users in the world in terms of time spent. There's been a lot of innovative ways in the way people use social. A lot of social commerce happens. Um, uh, if you think of the way a lot of commerce is done in Asia, historically, even pre-technology, it's been around a lot of marketplaces, not really so centralized, and that's really kind of evolved into the digital landscape as well. So it's very easy for some individual person to set up a shop, um, like on Instagram, TikTok, even before the official social commerce features were introduced, to just kind of sell basically whatever. The barrier to entry to set up uh, an online business is much lower, so you see a lot more of it. Uh, there's a lot of peer-to-peer kind of commerce happening. Um, Even unofficially, like Facebook groups are very active in Southeast Asia. People are very comfortable selling to each other. I think there's a lot of inherently there's more trust of other people, strangers online, if you will, like to transact, maybe more so than the U.S. Um, that does come with some pitfalls as well, as you do hear of more potential scams and things happening as well. Um, so yeah, maybe we'll start there. Like I think with commerce overall, it's I think that generally, so it's a lot more mobile first. It's a lot less centralized. There are big commerce platforms. Amazon's not there, for instance. Like almost everyone transacts on Amazon in the U.S. There's a few other big players in that region. Lazada, Shopee are some of the Alibaba are some of the big ones. But even the way those function, a lot of times it's more smaller shops. It's not so centralized. They're more like marketplaces, actually, um, and that adds to some confusion when you're trying to shop for an item too. Whereas if you shop for a specific item, you might see many uh, duplicate items from different sellers, all next to each other. Sometimes there's fake items, so there's a lot. It's a lot uh, less. I don't know what the word is, maybe less refined in that sense, but like there's a lot of options, there's a lot of opportunities, but it's definitely a little different.